Rand Paul. Rand Paul is really causing a lot of controversy within the Republican Party. There's a bunch of infighting going on right now within the Republican Party. Chris Christie, the New Jersey Republican governor, and Senator Rand Paul, Republican Senator Rand Paul, son of Ron Paul, have been having a little bit of a disagreement. Rand Paul suggested that he and Chris Christie talk it over, sort things out over some beers, and Chris Christie said he's not interested in that. And then Peter King decides to get involved and to comment on it. He goes on CNN, and it takes very little time for him to invoke Godwin's Law, which is the assertion made by Mike Godwin back in 1990, which has become kind of like an internet sensation, which says, as an online discussion grows longer, the probability of a comparison involving Hitler or Nazis approaches 100%. It seems to apply to political debate as well. Take a look at this clip.
And then he talks about us wanting to start wars, and somehow people enjoy war. And he talks about want to bomb everything. Is that what he thinks our military does? Wolf, what this reminds me of, someone like Senator Paul and others in that isolationist wing. You know, the Republicans had this debate back in the 1930s when you had the isolationists and the Charles Lindberghs that said we should appease Hitler. Then the Democrats had it in the 1960s when the anti-war movement blamed America first. And in both cases, it hurt the party for years. Each party was hurt for years. I'm afraid that's what Senator Paul is going to do with us. He wants to retreat from the world.
So there it is. And I have to tell you, Lewis, I don't really have a specific problem with Rand Paul being anti-war, although I recognize that the reasons he is anti-war are completely different from the reasons I've been against the specific conflicts in Afghanistan and in Iraq. That's fine. That doesn't really make him an appeaser of Hitler. I find a couple of things fascinating about this. Number one, the infighting between Republicans is really starting to self-destruct the party. I mean, it is becoming so fractured, but putting that aside, can any honest Republican look at that infighting that's going on between Rand Paul, Chris Christie, and Peter King, and allegations of appeasing the same way that it's like a Hitler appeaser, and say, these guys are acting in my best interest, these guys care about their constituents at all? I don't know that any honest Republican can look at them and come away with that impression.
Well, they must, because these people keep getting reelected. I know it's getting bad now, but ultimately, in the end, it's going to come down to a primary, and whoever comes out on top, Republicans are going to have no choice but to get behind that person, just like they did with Mitt Romney, unwillingly had to with Mitt Romney.
I mean, what a juvenile distraction we have here. Forget about the fact that it happens to be Republicans. In this particular case, it's Republicans. Right now, the Republican Party is more fractured and split and fighting amongst themselves way more than Democrats, in part because of these different, Tea Party, pro-business, and evangelical religious kind of divisions. Also because it's, a Democrat has been reelected now and is serving years 5 through 8 in the White House, so that's going to cause more infighting. But this is why congressional approval is so low. It's like children, Lewis. It is absolutely pathetic.
It is really, really sad. And you know what? This is a golden opportunity for a smart Republican with a level head who doesn't say crazy things and has no skeletons in his closet,
right,
to come forward and be the ideal Republican now.
Yeah, and I don't know that it's happening really, because every time we hear about a new Republican, I don't even know what the term would be, a new Republican that is being championed or a rising star, it turns out that they're incredibly anti-gay, or they believe that the earth is 500 years old, or some nutty thing, and it just doesn't work out well. Or it turns out that they've been involved in some extramarital affair, which we could have debates about whether that should or shouldn't affect their political life, but it often does. And we're waiting for that magic Republican to come forward. The thing is, when that magic Republican comes forward with broad appeal, it's going to help the progressive movement, because it's going to have to be a moderate that, if they are successful, will move the Republican Party to the left, and as such allow the Democratic Party to move to the left. So I think Republicans may be scared for that particular reason.